Welcome to Turks and Jerks, everybody. I am your biggest jerk, Jason Rubin. Ben Mank out. J.R. Jackson could not make it. I think he's just hiding because of the Los Angeles Rams. Francis Maxwell didn't watch football. So I am here with you for two wonderful winners and losers clips of the NFL weekend. All right, we're going to get right into it because Eric Berry, who is on the other side of this Turks and Jerks graphic, which you can't see, which is fine, no worries, is one of the biggest winners, not just of this weekend, but one of the biggest winners of the last 2 years. So a lot of people know his backstory. Those of you who don't, before he even got diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma and had to miss an entire season, return home to Atlanta to get treatment for it and push through that, he was a Pro Bowl strong safety. So just a terrific and tremendous player on the field with this amazing attitude, and then dealt this really crappy deck of cards, which really, I think the phrase has got dealt a crappy hand in terms of what happened. And last year comes back, full recovery, wins Comeback Player of the Year, rightfully so, because he picked up right where he left off. And then in his return back to Atlanta, where he was playing the Falcons, the Chiefs edged out a very close 29-28 victory, in part because of Eric Berry and the Chiefs' defense. So aside from the Chiefs as a whole stopping the Falcons' ridiculous offense with Julio Jones and Matt Ryan playing at that top 5 quarterback level all season long, 3 times they stopped them in the red zone, 2 times inside the 5-yard line. They still allowed an 11-point comeback in the fourth quarter. However, Berry had a 37-yard interception return for a touchdown at the end of the first half, which he gave the football to his mother, who was there in the crowd with him, a very nice moment. And then to add even more to a remarkable story in his return back to Atlanta, Eric Berry had the pick 2, because that new rule where if you intercept the ball or recover a fumble and return it on a 2-point conversion, you get 2 points. Well, those 2 points were needed to edge out that victory and it just goes to show, like, there's really inspirational people in the NFL. That's one of them. You should look up to players like Eric Berry for the sole reason that, he was dealt cancer, which is one of the crappiest things that can happen. It's unfortunate, but he also had the courage, the resilience, the strength to push through and get past that and then step back onto the football field where, once again, you're putting your life pretty much on the line every single week. So for him to return 2 interceptions for points, for him to read Matt Ryan's eyes on that throw and really just take that ball back with 60 yards untouched for most of the way, just went to show how much of a remarkable performance it was. It also fits the Chiefs' narrative of the entire season. It's a team that doesn't really consider themselves out of any game. They scored on a fake punt this week. They've scored on through multiple defensive scores this season alone, and in part a lot due to Alex Smith being, I don't throw this word around lightly, an elite quarterback. He seems to prove it every single year, and then Andy Reid seems to bungle it by, and I call it bungle it because that's what the Bengals do, bungling, and seems to mess it up in the playoffs with terrible clock management, or they run into just a better team in the Patriots a lot of the time. So overall, Chiefs big winners. They needed to win that game because the Raiders went on to win that game. And let's talk about the Oakland Raiders. Edwin's not even here. Edwin, one of our production guys in the studio, is a diehard Raiders fan, was in Mexico City for that game. I don't think he dresses up with all the craziness, so I'm not sure how much of a Raiders fan he is. Shots fired. Anybody? Anybody? Nobody. Griffin's over there, too. You guys will meet all the cast at one point. Regardless, Derek Carr, we can count it like Kobe Bryant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fourth quarter, game-winning touchdown drives this season on his hand, on his pass, on his remarkable ability this year to still prove why he's the MVP of the National Football League this year. No disrespect to Khalil Mack. He's been phenomenal, but MVPs tend to be quarterbacks. In this case, tends to be Derek Carr. 5 fourth quarter or OT game-winning touchdown drives. 6 for the Raiders altogether, one of which did not come on the hand of Derek Carr himself, but he, of course, got them there and put them in the situation to win. A 29-0 run from the 10-minute point of the third quarter to the end of that game, that's a team that looks like they can go on and win a Super Bowl. That's a team that's going to be dangerous to play if the road goes through Oakland to that Super Bowl. That's a team that is looking at a number 1 seed this season, and a lot on the organization for building the team the correct way. We got Derek Carr. So we found that he passes the eye test. His yards per attempt were low, though. He doesn't have the yards per attempt of Tom Brady. So what does that really show? Could he really move the chains? Yeah, he can move the chains. They have a terrific offensive line, so they're protecting Derek Carr, allowing him to continue to stay in the pocket and make plays on his own if he needs to. They draft Amari Cooper, who was a phenomenal receiver at Alabama and was going to burst out into the scene on the first day of his rookie year, which he did, and has continued to develop that relationship with Carr to make for even more weapons. Michael Crabtree and Latavius Murray. This is a team not to just rail off names, but are simply have so many weapons that some people still somehow sleep on. Yes, Michael Crabtree is playing at an elite level right now. Latavius Murray is running the ball down every single defensive line's throats. And Derek Carr continues to lead an offense that is going to be very dangerous. Now, the one thing that people say against the Raiders right now is, what if the offense doesn't show up? Well, they haven't not showed up. They've only showed up. Therefore, how can you not pick the Raiders to be in the AFC Championship game today? And how can you not pick the Raiders for Derek Carr to win the MVP today? Matt Stafford's been playing fantastic and really showed on a big road performance, 28-13. I think he was sick. Why some people are throwing an MVP nod his way. I'm not. Derek Carr's that man. So count it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like Kobe Bryant. Well, Kobe had 5 rings, which is a lot more impressive than just 5 game-winning OT fourth-quarter touchdown passes. Regardless, that's your best of the weekend. Leave it in your comment section below. If you haven't listened to it yet, it's been a great month for music. We were just listening to Childish Gambino's new album in the studio. J. Cole's dropping a new album really soon. Bruno Mars has been fantastic. Corey knows this. People are sleeping on this. Give the man some respect. Comment below, like, favorite, subscribe. We'll be back with Jerks in just a second.